Hello, friends. This month in Exploring Your Edge, brought to you by Strengths Edge, we are focusing on the Gallup-Clifton Strengths domain of relationship building themes and how they influence our lives. Relationship builders are the connectors and glue that hold the team or the group together. Today, I'd like to introduce you to our guest, PaigeRichards, a relationship builder through and through. Paige, welcome.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here. Could you give us a little background or insight about you and your strengths?
I'm a 25-year-old marketing professional. I'm currently doing freelance work, and my 5 strengths all fall into the relationship building themes. My strengths are harmony, empathy, developer, individualization, and adaptability.
Fabulous. Fabulous. We were so excited when we made this discovery, and we get to fully immerse ourselves into relationship building and the beauty that you bring into your relationships and into your work.
Yes, yeah.
We'd love to hear more about your personal strengths discovery and your journey. Can you tell us when you first started to notice and implement your strengths into your life?
I think some of my strengths, I feel like, were always with me growing up, like with empathy and harmony and adaptability. I noticed that those were pretty strong since a child, I guess. And in 7th grade, I won this award for our class that was the kindest person. So seeing empathy kind of pour out into that. I think as I got older, I started to kind of see a little bit more with individualization and a developer and how I interact with others and cheering them on. I think that I didn't necessarily always view those as my strengths or didn't have any idea if those were what I was good at. But then working with Mean has helped me kind of just put it all in a big picture and really analyze and give examples, I guess, to my strengths and how I can implement that into my future and what I'm doing now.
So thank you, Paige. And thank you for sharing those experiences that you had growing up. When do you think your strength started to really flourish, and what was that process like?
I think I started to see it when I was in college, having a little more serious projects, working on them, and working more one-on-one and in big groups of people. I think I started to notice how I interacted with others and those relationship building themes coming through during that time. I think the working with Mean, the process allowed me to, which was, I think, towards the end of my college career, I think I started to notice breaking it down helped me process that my strengths a lot easier. And then it kind of poured into when I went into the professional life after college. It poured into that where I can really build myself up and start seeing those strengths and how I interact with coworkers and how I handle projects.
Okay. So you were able to then really start to notice how they're showing up and how they're supporting you. How did playing to your strengths make you feel?
I think it empowered me. It made me feel a lot more confident within myself and the work that I was putting out. It made me feel like my place at work or in my personal life was a lot more important. It gave me a sense of that I'm doing something when I get to play with my strengths and to show others and contribute to work projects.
Yeah. Yeah. I think more examples are going to surface in a few minutes here. So I'm so anxious to hear about some of the specific examples of where your beautiful strengths really helped you shine. So can you tell us about a time or an instance where your strengths really seem to excel and uplift you and or others that you were interacting with?
At my previous place of work, there was a lot of quick deadlines, a lot of doing something and then changing the process halfway through. And so I think my adaptability allowed me to really just go with the flow and take on those changes and be able to meet those deadlines despite having that little chaos of, oh, we have to change it this way and you have to do this, and nope, our deadline just got pushed forward. So it definitely, adaptability has helped me greatly when able to think quick in situations.
How did that impact or help your coworkers?
I think it may have taken a little less of the load off on them. I think it allowed them to feel confident that we were going to meet these deadlines, that the processes being changed, we weren't going to get so focused and wrapped up into that and just go forward. So I think I was a person that they could count on for me going forward.
I love it. And how important to have that on the team. And to know that just to create that trust, right? To know that things are going to get done. Everything is okay. We're going to work through it, right? Yeah. So Paige, it's for our viewers here, it's important to recognize that our strengths don't always play in our favor. Sometimes they do get in the way of our goals or intentions. That's when we're overdoing it a little bit, overusing them, or I don't know, sometimes we choose to not use them and kind of shove them under the rug. Can you think of a time where your strengths acted as a possible roadblock or a hindrance?
I think with specifically with my strength of harmony, a lot of it is don't rock the boat. A lot of it is being a little more adverse to conflict. So I think throughout my professional life, I've kind of saw that sometimes when I use harmony a little too much and I go a little overboard, I tend to avoid conflict with others and maybe not be as direct as I would like, which can sometimes cause for miscommunications to happen. And it can kind of put a little stressor on people if I'm not exactly speaking my mind or being direct with another person.
Okay. And what kind of an impact did that have in that moment?
I think when it allowed for our communication to get stumbled, and there was tension in the team at times because people weren't being direct and I wasn't being direct. I think it can set us back a little bit when not trying to rock the boat on a certain instance.
Okay. All right. So this beautiful gift of harmony that desires balance and for everyone to have a voice at the table, when it's overdone to the point where you are no longer able to effectively communicate your thoughts because you're afraid of the conflict.
Yes.
that then it was no longer serving you in that moment. Okay. So in your experience, what environments, either personal and or professional, have allowed you to shine and feel fulfilled using your strengths?
I think when working with people who have a lot of empathy as well, I think that mutual understanding of other people and being able to put yourself in others' shoes, it allows you to kind of have a more, for me at least, an easier time communicating. And I think as well as environments that allow for open discussion, that allow for a non-judgment and to take suggestions seriously. I think those types of environments welcome me. I think that when I'm allowed to express a lot of my strengths, I find that, I shine, I do a lot better at the work, I feel more confident at the work I'm doing. When I get to show off how my adaptability can lead us forward and change, and how my harmony will take everybody into consideration and really try to work on a compromise. I think those environments usually serve me best.
I love it. That's amazing. And I love that you have such clarity about that. So on the flip side, tell me about the environments that in the past may have left you feeling disconnected or kind of closed off from being able to express your strengths.
I think as a relationship builder, having most of my strengths in that theme, I have to be working with people. Some previous jobs I was in, it wasn't that direct communication. So I wasn't able to necessarily really shine through and show my empathy and individualization. And I think that environments where I'm working with others and where I'm not working with others can make me feel like my strengths are kind of getting pushed aside, I guess. I think when in certain environments don't allow for an open communication or a more of aggressive type of communication, I think I shut down a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I think environments where I don't get to work with people tend to not allow me to shine, I suppose.
Okay. Also, something really important to recognize and be very aware of.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you. So at Strengths Edge, we know that strengths go with you everywhere, right? And that it's important to not only focus on your strengths in relation to your career, but also outside of your professional life. Can you give us examples and explain the areas in your personal life where you think your strengths show up? Is there a specific time or just in general? Tell us a little bit more.
I think I see all of my strengths show up in my personal life. I think it's hard to separate your professional and personal life when it comes to strengths. I think with adaptability, a lot of the times I'm just going with the flow with my friends of what they want to do. I see empathy. I'm trying to relate to people in my life and really think about what they're going through. And tying into developer and individualization, I get to see their my friends' strengths and like what makes them unique. And I'm always cheering on my friends, always pushing them to go the extra mile to explore what they want to do and what makes them happy, I guess. And I do notice sometimes with harmony, I do in my personal life also sometimes have issues with conflict, but I am working on that, and seeing my strengths play into my personal life makes my own personal life and friendships and relationships a lot stronger and makes me confident within those relationships.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so throughout your throughout your journey, all right, of finding your strengths and playing to them, was there anything that surprised you or that you didn't realize about yourself?
I think that while some of my strengths felt like innate, like that was always part of my personality, I think that in learning about individualization and developer kind of showed me a strength that I didn't necessarily think would be part of that, you know? Um, Finding what's unique in people and cheering them on and really pushing them, that was surprising to me. Like learning about that and how I'm trying to look back on my life and how that served me and how I always are pushing people to try their best and do their best. I think learning about those two strengths of me kind of surprised me a little bit. I didn't have a name to them, I guess. So it was nice putting a name and a description kind of to them.
Paige, thank you so much for sharing all of that. Would you mind if we brought it back to your professional life for a moment and tell us how all of your strengths are serving you in your marketing career?
For empathy, a lot of it is being a good listener, listening to people's needs and addressing those needs. I think that intertwined with marketing can help better understand your potential customers or your audience a lot better when you have that special insight on how to connect with people. With adaptability, being able to adapt to quick changes in trends and in social media apps and new designs of things. I've learned to be able to grasp onto that pretty quickly. For harmony, I find that being able to work well with others and to not have such a conflict averse environment allows for a lot of more ideas to be taken into consideration. We never know what's a good or bad idea and it's going to come from. So allowing that open space and being that able to facilitate that environment helps a lot of people bring out new ideas that we might have not thought of. Is it for individualization and developers? Working with a team and really finding and pinpointing others' talents and making sure those talents are being used is super important, and to encourage them to push themselves and to find what makes them unique and how they can bring that to our job and how they can express themselves through a professional way. Yeah, I think those are how some of my strengths applies into the field of marketing.
Yeah. I think what comes to mind as you're sharing is your strengths really create this safe
Mhm.
and collaborative,
Yeah,
creative space for everyone to really contribute and bring their best to create the best pieces for the organization.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, they get to be themselves
Mhm.
when they work with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
thank you.
Yeah, and so as we wrap things up here, what would you like people watching or reading to know? Is there anything? Do you have any piece of advice or information regarding relationship building strengths that you'd like our audience to be aware of?
Um, I think that it's important to believe in yourself and buy into your strengths and really try to find environments that allow you to showcase them, talk to people, figure out what their strengths are and how you can both come together and create something or create an environment where everybody's strengths are getting showcased. I think buying into your strengths and believing in them, even if you're in a place where those strengths might not be as apparent to you, really focusing on that and trying to remind yourself that we all have strengths, and that finding the places where your strengths will be best served can really make you feel fulfilled.
That is brilliant and so important to be aware and to be looking for the environments that will serve you best, where you will get to shine and allow your strengths to play. Paige, this has been amazing. What a pleasure to have you here and to learn about your personal strengths journey. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to share your strengths with us and our audience, and giving us your thoughtful perspective on relationship building themes.
Thank you so much, Nermeen. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was really, really interesting going over these things and gaining even a new perspective for me on my strengths.
Yeah. Well, I loved it, and so grateful to have you in my world, Paige. Well, and folks, we'll see you again soon.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now.